really makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. And already it does seem like, I apologize, I'm still checking through chat just to be sure. But, wait, did my internet die? Okay, it didn't. But, really, what an interesting start between both of these players, and it definitely looks like Uvic is gonna have a bit of preparation with this sort of thing.
Yeah, Uvic's gonna have like a kind of uphill battle, but honestly, this first match, considering that it was between S rank and a B rank, which is a huge disparity, like an S rank would be expected to just like completely sweep them, yet the B rank got one round off, which is honestly not too bad for Uvic. It definitely gives them at least some kind of advantage.
Absolutely. And I guess that leads into the imperfection mindset that I think I neglected to mention, especially when it comes to teams like these, because I don't know, I feel like a lot of these players that I've seen nowadays, regardless of what rank they are, they've just kind of either gotten better or just still kind of remain stagnant for where they are.
Right.
But aside from that, it definitely looks like GT has, like you said, quite a strong advantage here, but with what Uvic is trying to build up to, it all depends on how the rest of the match is going to go. Either it could be close or one-sided, or just a fairly even match. It's just all that matters between both these players, or any of these players.
Sure.
And
I think we should also talk about, I guess maybe you can weigh into this a bit more as like a newer member of CTO, but because of the first match with basically the team that won now has to do the counterpick. So the losing team, sorry, I'm not phrasing this the best, but basically the losing team has the advantage in the following match because now they can counterpick based off of the winning team's pick. I hope I'm not phrasing that wrong.
And because of these counter picks, if I could like try to process this in the best way I can, I think that might benefit Uvic because they don't have a lot of like B to A rank players there. They still have S players, like S to SS players. It's generally, when you really see about this, the strategy is that they want to scale it based on what I can gather. They want to get off they want to get the weakest member off and try not to like immediately spike to the captain. But they still want to like, you know, try to build it up the best they can, while GT is trying to go for the slow and flow fashion of just getting it out of the way while not expecting much.
For sure. Although I should say, sometimes the captain of the team isn't always the highest rank, and that's the case with Uvic here, because their highest ranking main roster is player on the main roster is actually Todd Billeg, and not Green Keys, who was the captain.
Interesting. I think I might have like, you know, thought about that differently when I try to process, you know, the entire team, but it definitely seems like, you know, like you said, the highest ranked player doesn't have to be captain, but it's still like already building up to whatever they want to make in favor of getting this team any amount of success. Which, judging by what Uvic is trying to plan here, and while they're waiting for their second player or for the second match to go, I can definitely see why Uvic is playing like this, if I'm trying to keep myself less redundant here.
Yeah. Basically, because GT's won that first match, now Uvic gets to counterpick. Although we're still waiting on GT to pick their next player.
Which, of course, they don't want to, like, you know, overdo it with, like, you know, stronger players. And already it does seem like that GTA has gotten their player here, which is going to be Huvaberto, who used to sing classic opera. I wonder if that's one of their majors for their semester.
Maybe.
Who knows? I mean, I'm not a college student. I wouldn't attest to that sort of thing.
I feel like that sort of thing is like something you keep as a hobby in college. Most players, unless they're like at the sort of level where they're winning like, I don't know, national competitions or something, they might not major in music. But I don't know. I'm not a music major either, so.
Right. I mean, I barely know music theory myself, so. But already, looks like we do have an even match between both teams' strongest players, which is going to be Uvic versus Togbeleg. Both of them being SS players, so this could go either way, if I say so myself.
Yep, it's definitely a close matchup. Although Togbeleg has like a slight advantage with looking at their stats here. They're both more. They're faster, and they've got a higher versus score.
And even though Uvic has a lower stat difference, we definitely see that a bit more in top play as well, where regardless of stats, it's all about trying to play for the play style, and of course, all the decision making that follows along with it, which of course matters just as much in the meta, especially with up-and-comers and rookies.
Oh, definitely.
And already we could definitely see some strong suiting from Uvic with reverse TKI over here, which is still just as strong as it was last season. And Togbeleg gonna have to break a bit of back-to-back here. Slight surge from Uvic. Gonna send Togbeleg pretty high, and already kicking off the warm-up with a very strong start from Uvic.
Maybe Uvic has got warmer hands or something. I don't know. It is the middle
seems
of...
like it.
Well, I guess it's technically not winter anymore, but still, like, I guess for the colleges and colder areas, it might be, like, an issue. Like, on my campus, it's so cold. It's, like, below freezing all the time, and it's still February. So cold hands. You never know.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely rough there. Uvic going for SDPC spin here. Of course, not going for the PC variation, because, going back to the meta talk, it's not as viable as it once was, so of course people are gonna have to rely on alternatives. And Uvic is getting that back-to-back surge already going, getting a slight burst of it, while Togbeleg is playing a bit slower than they usually play, but they do manage to get that T-spin off immediately. Oh, that could have been dug very differently. Ooh. That could have been dug a bit differently, but definitely looks like Togbeleg over here is looking pretty comfy with what they built themselves with. And of course, gonna get themselves a bit of garbage to send to Uvic, who already dicks themselves down. But Togbeleg is looking for a T-spin here. That might look a bit risky in terms of resource management, but already it seems like Togbeleg getting so high here. Uvic on the floor, gonna get that T-spin off immediately, which is going to top Togbeleg out, getting the first point of the set.
Hopefully, they can keep the momentum going. Do you think maybe you could talk some more about resource management?
Of course.
The audience of this stream might not be super familiar with Tetris terminology.
Of course. So when it comes to resource management, it's all about trying to like save T's for whenever you have the right board state for it. It's all about when you look for it and when your queue is suited for that sort of thing. So when Togbeleg was trying to look for T-spins right here, he needs to get that queue just in time. But of course, you're going to have alternate situations that work. And speaking of resource management, when you have a queue like that, when you have an eye just in time during your down stack, that's decent resource management. The best you can get is if you keep in notes in advance of when your T&I pieces happen, because of course they're the most essential for backing up damage, which builds up back-to-back, which builds up surge, which of course both these players... Oh, what's Uvic doing?
Unfortunate hangman this strong.
Or that it might be intentional, because... You know, sometimes players like to plonk a lot, and sometimes that might also be helpful for delaying some attacks, which could pump out a bit more in favor of a lot of interactions, which of course leads back into resource management and proper resource management, which of course is like, you know, having a board state that's suited only for when you gotta send it. But that's just a loose definition from me. And I remember OJ teaching me a lot about resource management when I was getting coaching, so that's always fun to hear. So, shout out to OJ.
One of the top ranked players at the moment. He's like, what, top? I forget his exact rank.
Probably like top top 30-ish. I haven't checked his TR in a bit, but he is still pretty much a top player. But he has recently been offering a lot of coaching to even some already top players like Amberdoodle or Jack or Keshi or QB. Just a lot of these players that want to improve on the game and just, you know, even though it seems a bit not like J.K. Simmons and Whiplash, but still kind of like, you know, brutal coaching that can help encourage, you know, better play, which is not exactly bad coaching in that kind of manner. But aside from that, back to the match.
Tetris is kind of getting more development in that sort of area. Not just players getting into the game, but also like veterans teaching their skills to newer players and bringing in the next generation, I guess.
And being able to optimize their play and being able to work at the playstyle that they feel comfortable with, which of course, for players like Todd Billeg and Huevaberto, they do have potential, and especially when it comes to the tournament scene, and especially in the collegiate area, it's already progress, and Huevaberto is already making numbers here, starting off 2-1, as we were talking about resource management, player development, etc., etc.
Yeah. Looking like Huevaberto is getting their momentum back.
Todd Billeg starting off with the PC, which is going to get completely cancelled by Huevaberto just in time, which of course they're going to send back with a bit of damage here. They needed another eyepiece here, but they do have the T as well, which of course they're going to send. And already they're going to dig down for that garbage well. Todd Billeg is... doesn't choose to go for the donut, but chooses to find the Tetris. Definitely a much more safer option when it comes to resources. But already, they need to find another one in fast. Which they do.
Huevaberto's got a much cleaner board compared to Todd Billeg. Well, now it's back to neutral. I guess both players are keeping it very safe.
Definitely seems like it at best, and Huevaberto has a very perfect plus shape here to build with that T-spin. Does find another one, and Todd Billeg, unfortunately misdropping the L, but it's completely fixable. Gonna get it off as soon as possible, saving the eyepiece, and going back to the resource management, that is one amazing example of keeping your eye for when you need it. Even if it's not the best, it's still managed to keep yourself alive, and look what that does! Look at Huevaberto's situation, that's a complete counter if you manage to save your resources.
For sure, for sure. I guess like for proper resource management, you should be taking consideration your queue and also the pieces
100%?
that you'll get. Can't like set up a fractal and then not have any T pieces for like the next bag or two.
Oh yeah, that's definitely like a 100% like mid-level player mistake all the time, because I used to do that a lot when I was trying to farm for APM, but APM does not equal skill, it just equals building up to that said skill with, like I said, resource management. You need resources to get damage, and with damage, you need resources. If you don't have a T-piece, if you don't have 2 T-pieces for a fractal, then what's the point of building a fractal?
Yeah, for sure. Just setting yourself up for failure.
Absolutely, which I think both these players don't even want, and Todd Billeg is making good usage of keeping himself safe, as well as trying to, you know, keep your board clean and having that level of forward thinking that they want ahead of time. Which is already making numbers. Todd Billeg gonna make themselves very strong here. Both these players going for the PC, whoever finding the quad solve. None of them find second PC, but it's already a good start between both players.
Maybe both players were just trying too fast to go faster than the opponent.
And of course, going back on top of it, Huevaberto was waiting for that eyepiece that they used beforehand, because they were trying to build a well on top of it, but they could never get the T-piece in time, which is one example of not utilizing the best kind of resource management. But Huevaberto's managed to get themselves back up, but it's already a bit kind of funky here. Todd Billeg getting a bit of a slight donut here, which builds it to a down stack. Already good enough damage. Huevaberto unfortunately blocking off their well. Gonna get themselves a T-spin 0 here. But they do find the down stack here. Todd Billeg in a very unfortunate situation, funneling their garbage well on the 10th line.
Yeah,
that's
not exactly the cleanest, not the best situation to be in.
But Todd is trying to save up his eyepiece for whenever he wants to dig down, and he does manage to find it, catching Huevaberto off guard here. And that's already enough to get them back all the way up on top of the board. Huevaberto needs to find the correct down stack to dig through it, but they are skimming a lot more than they should using that eyepiece. But they do manage to find an outing here. Both these players completely tense, and Huevaberto on the ropes. It's already so precarious. Ooh. But they do manage to find an outing.
Sends a lot cleaner garbage compared to Huevaberto.
And Huevaberto's all about sending all that cheese, which is going to slow Todd down. Both these players completely on the ropes. Todd can't even find another outing, and Huevaberto ties it up once again.
Very close match.
Yeah, what a back and forth interaction between both of these players. I was just wondering how it's going to end up, but Huevaberto has survival potential, which of course can work in a lot of different cases. So already we are experiencing some level of tug of war between both these players. Very good find on the spin from Huevaberto. Todd already getting sent so much cheese, as we mentioned earlier about the garbage types that both these players send. Looks like Huevaberto is utilizing more clean in this interaction. I don't know.
Definitely with the kind of game that Tetris is, it's very... the tide of the battle can just change so quickly. One moment you're, in a good situation, have all the garbage, and then the next your opponent is, pressuring you all the way to the top.
I think that all that matters with adaptive playstyles, and it definitely looks like the nerves on Huevaberto already tying it up, but the momentum seemed to be a bit lost here, but they could manage to bring it back. Todd still in the lead, the clear stat advantage player here, but of course between both of these players all that matters is how well they perform. I think Huevaberto was trying to go for an opener here, but unfortunately misdropped, or didn't exactly get the right cue for it. And already it does seem like Huevaberto's looking for 2 eyepieces to get a double quad, which they do manage to send a lot of clean to Todd. And it's already looking a bit too much, because where's the eyepiece? Todd managed to get it out pretty late here, but they can't find another one. Even if they dig down for another, they do manage to find a T-piece. But they do manage to open up the well with the eyepiece in hand with the 12 spike, but Huevaberto barely making it out. But where's your T, man? Where's your T?
Unfortunately, I guess it really is just a situation of who can stack the most cleanly here, who can keep track of what their Q is looking like, and making sure that, like you said earlier, taking into account the resources they had and not overplaying and going too risky with their setups.
Which, of course, as we see from Huevaberto, they were trying to go for a T-spin here. There were plenty of other options here, but it definitely looks like they were trying to commit to the T-spin, which to a lower ranked player is not too big of a deal, because they aren't pressuring you that hard if you're playing against, let's just say, a mid to high level E-rank player. And already Huevaberto is having a difficult time trying to translate that in their favor, which already we are getting to match point in favor of Todd
I think at SS rank, which both of these players are at, it kind of feels like the more important thing is just having better downstack than your opponent and making sure that you can deal with cheese quickly. What do you think of that?
I think that's a good concept on what SS is, or lower ranked play in general is like, because already we could definitely see the flaws between, having the lack of those skill sets, which of course happens a lot in lower ranked play, but it's not not really
fair to group all lower ranks into one big bundle though, because I mean obviously the difference between low X and X plus is about the same as the difference between D rank and SS, but at lower the low average, which I think is A rank, it's a lot of just trying to survive as long as possible. But I think once you're in SS, it's trying to clutch up at the top, and if your opponent is sending you a lot of pressure, trying not to let it get to your nerves, and then getting down in time.
Absolutely. And I don't think I was trying to categorize that in that kind of way, but I'm just saying, like, generally, what a lot of people would think when it comes to lower ranked players is, of course, having some fundamental inconsistencies, but still being able to commit to what they have in terms of decision making, and of course, being able to see what they have, which the higher you go, the more apparent it becomes, and the more you learn it, because that's what improvement does to a lot of people that want to, of course, get better at the game. And it definitely looks like Todd Blake has...
the more polished your skills are.
And Todd Blake has shown that pretty strongly here. And already we get to see some 11-9 score here. 2 in favor of GT here, but looks like Uvic over here is having a very comfy time trying to even this out. 3 more players between either side, and it all depends on who picks who. And already they pick out Yesmeral, which is gonna go up against... Ooh, who are they gonna... Because GT, they don't have Exilif, they don't have Huevaberto, and it could either go down to... Oh, what is it? Panic? Zoib and Bay City. All of them being
taking a look
very
at their stats right now, GT is much more consistent in terms of their rank. Because like their lowest, Zoib is at a S.
Oh, around S+.
But then the others are like SS and U rank. So considering that Uvic has already expended their top player, which was Todd Blake, it's not looking very good for them here.
And I think it definitely seems like, and I don't know if I'm going through assumptions here, it definitely looks like GT might be going for some even point here, which if they try to go for, say, Zoib against Yesmeral, it may look like that they're trying to, like, maximize the amount of points that they can get out of this match, but they still don't want to keep it, like, one-sided. Which I think might be a wiser and more generous play. Between both teams, at least.
So I guess, like, if I'm hearing this properly, because they have a more even spread, they can afford to give up, like, put in a lower ranked player. Like, instead of having the U rank play the A rank and get a sweep, it's better for them to just, like, maintain just a slightly higher rank difference, is what I'm hearing.
And already it does seem like we are getting pretty pumped with this, and the speed is already ramping up. Zoib and Yesmeral is already going at their max potential here. Nerve's starting to get a bit loose here, but Yesmeral, unfortunately, having a hard time with the board and just... Ooh. That look like a great start for Yesmeral.
This is the kind of funny thing with warm-ups when there's such a huge rank disparity. It's not really a warm-up at all. We just kind of die within the first 10 seconds or so, but... Oh well.
Oh yeah, it does happen, so...
It's like a good, what's the word for it? It's like a good, polite thing to do. I forgot the word. There's a word for it.
Considerate.
Courtesy.
That was close. Alright, looks like Yesmeral going for a bit of a double dono here. Very interesting play. So I'm starting off with a bit of a cheese down seg here. And already kicking off for the halfway point. It definitely looks like Uvic is going back to the lower ranked players, like, decision making here. And oh my god, I got a Steam notification. I don't feel like playing TTT right now, but aside from that, going back in, looks like the first point goes to Zoib, going for TKI here. And Yesmeral trying to get that count to 4 off.
Zoib is, even despite being S+, they have a lot, at least from what I've seen so far, they're aware of keeping back-to-back. They're relatively clean with their stacking, so I'm curious, like, what's the reason they're still in S+? Maybe they're weaker in another area, and that's something that Yesmeral can take advantage of to try to get a couple of points.
Well, in TL, you don't really, expect a lot, so I don't know if that's considered underranked and whatnot, but with what they have, it looks like that they have been practicing a bit more, and Zoe is really taking good usage of their board here, even if it's not the best, but they still managed to get a lot of damage off, and especially a good surge here.
For sure.
Already going at 100 APM, which is already what Surge does, and of course amplifying stats and damage to get all these early punishes and kills.
For sure. Maybe Zoad is like much more confident with their opener, because it does seem like they've been playing. Oh wow.
Ooh.
They have a very low RD score of 60, which means they probably play like near every day or so.
Huh. I guess that's where all that practice comes from, and I don't think Yesmerl is pretty much prepared for this kind of strat, but they definitely seem to commit a lot when it comes to trying to find the best solution to a very alarming problem, which is of course having to deal with someone with a way higher rank than expected, which does not look great on Yesmerl, getting wiped across the board 5-0. It's not looking the best, but hey, it's a commitment.
It's a momentum kind of thing. Like sometimes at the beginning of a round when the higher rank is like still not warmed up, maybe you can just like cheese off a couple of rounds or so. But yeah, it's looking really tough for Yesmerl.
Yeah. I'm starting to notice that Yesmerl does not do any spin salute. It definitely looks like they're playing a bit more on the classic side of the playstyle. Just complete 9-0, trying to keep it flat, focusing on Tetrises. Just...
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, very casual play along the board, and already with so much clean. They do open up the well, almost blocking it off, and it definitely looks like they're playing it very flat, but is that really enough to get them back on the map?
Yeah, playing... One playstyle that might be meta for Classic is definitely not the kind of playstyle that would be good in multiplayer, high-paced games like Tetris. And that's game.
Yeah, already under 4 minutes, and definitely looks like that we end the match as soon as it started. No offense.
Oh dear.
Already it looks like... It definitely looks like the points seem to be doubled in favor of GT. Uvic having a very hard time with a complete sweep across the board. Yeah,
GT's strategy is definitely playing out in favor for them. Saving the best for last, as it were. Yep.
And it all depends because, you know, they got all of their lower ranked players out of the way and trying to, like, get themselves into a match point scenario where either or can happen at once. It could either be GT taking the upper hand or Uvic coming back from such a very, very devastating but
devastating defeat.
Potentially recoverable situation.
Match doesn't make the battle, but it's still like, yeah, it's tough. We'll see. Honestly, I'm just curious, like maybe considering your comments about Uvic's player having more of a classic playstyle, I'm curious if this has anything to do with like their recruiting efforts, because in CTO it's really tough to find players on campus. Like sometimes you just gotta go with what you can get, and sometimes that's like the average classic Tetris player. But
yeah, or they could be entirely new, which is 100% understandable.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think motivation plays a huge deal into it, and sometimes having like one high rank who can like teach you the ropes, even if the rest of the team is a bit lower ranked, is like really helpful.
So
I think like last year with UCLA, their top rank is Kabuza Pai, who is like top 5, right? Like
yeah, somewhere around that.
Extremely high ranked. And of course, the rest of UCLA's roster was also pretty high ranked. I think like U rank, X rank. Oh, I don't remember. I think it was like 4 X ranks actually. But still, having that high ranked player on their team is like, wow, that's just like free coaching, kind of, from the best of the best. But, anyway.
I guess you can interpret it that way. Yeah, just free
really
coaching.
Depends on the time. sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, free coaching from like one of the best players like in the region is always something to be, admired and thankful for, but it's only so far few in between that, we usually don't get that a lot when it comes to being able to teach these players, what could be done better, what could stay, etc., which of course I'm not exactly the best kind of teacher for that sort of thing, but as someone who has been taught a lot about this game and, took notes on what could be done better in that kind of way, and as well as trying to get that level of self-improvement, you could definitely see, the terminology and the mindset, mature over time.
No, I absolutely agree. Like, even, I'm probably not as high ranked as you. I think you're like, what, U rank, X rank? What rank are you right now?
I am 21.3, which in Season 1 terms is like 24.4.
Okay, so high U rank. Yeah. Like, I'm like SS rank right now. Oh, I haven't played in a while, but even like, for someone like me, I've already had like, people mentor me and teach me so many different things. Like, I think I learned, well, I didn't learn opener until much later, but I learned that from a friend while I was casting in TAWs and such. So, I don't know. I think for the average Tetris player, there's like a lot of mentoring and indirect mentoring, and with organizations like Underdogs, Cup, although they haven't been active in a while, which is unfortunate. We really gotta like develop more of a coaching kind of community. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling here.
That's fine. And definitely looks like it's a good time to stop rambling here, because it definitely looks like we're gonna get started with the warm-up here. Panic and Green Keys. It definitely looks like Green Keys being the Uvic captain, by the looks of it.
No, the Uvic captain is,
Are you sure it's not Green Keys? Or am I completely lost? I'm not too sure.
No, I'm just like, this is definitely one of the faster matches we've had in this set. Faster rounds? Faster matches? Yeah.
Oh, definitely more faster matches by the looks of it, because we saw the second match earlier between, I forget their names, let me do check just to be sure, between
Zoad and...
Huevaberto and Todd Bilek.
Oh, that was the one before last match, right.
Yeah. And already we're on to our second to last match here, and all of that matters between both of these players, which of course Green Keys being one of the more higher ranked players of the entire series, which is definitely pretty ambitious here, and Green Keys is having a bit of a rough time on the board here. By the way, you're excused.
Thank you.
And oh dear, Panic having to cover up that TST well, because both of these players are already so high on the board. All that matters is, how both these players are gonna get themselves out of there, and Panic using that S-spin to help get themselves out of the sticky situation. It definitely seems like Panic having a bit of a rough board state. Gonna get themselves with the quad, and Green Keys already with so much clean on the board. It seems like both these players are just stuck here, but Panic, unfortunately, not gonna make it out in time. Just way too much damage from Green Keys. Already starting off strong.
That must be a really good showing, considering Green Keys is S+.
And it
I
definitely...
guess it's looking like... I guess it's looking like Green Keys' forte is in cleaning up their board and downstacking when they need to.
Also, I did get confirmation from a Uvic team member, which is Green Keys is in fact their captain. So, of course, this is going to be a captain versus another highly ranked player from GT. And already Green Keys going with the 9-0 board here. Panic gonna have to clean themselves up a bit. And already Green Keys making good usage of the back-to-back. Gonna kickstart it here, unfortunately gonna have to break here. But the 9-0 has remained consistent. Oh, gonna go for that I don't know if I would call it ST stacking. I forget the term for it, but definitely using that S prop. Yeah, on green key side.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like classic ST stacking, but
one to accommodate for that, of course.
yeah.
And already Panic gonna have to prepare for the next IP so that they can be able to dig down here. Does manage to find the overhang. Green keys starting to play a bit more carefully here. Completely cheesed up. They're gonna need to find a way to adapt to this playstyle. Their dash is pretty high though. They've had a couple of faults here, but it definitely looks like that they want to try to open up and, you know, send as much as they can, or at least find the state that they want in order to dig through there. And
For sure.
it does seem like Green Keys is getting some decent damage here. A 10 spike gonna send so much clean to Panic. Really starting to try to at least dig down for this well, but because of the Q though, it's not gonna work in their favor. Green Key is gonna get themselves their first point of the set.
Yeah, it's looking like maybe Green Keys here has been, like, compared to the other teammates on Uvic, definitely vastly underranked. And a lot stronger at downstacking than Panic.
Unfortunately, Green Key's not getting that TPs in time, not getting the best resource management that they want. But even though Panic really sent with the MS2, just building on top of the PC that Green Key sent, it's just kind of unfortunate. And already going through with the DT cannon. Is that a dono cannon from Green Keys?
Very interesting.
I don't think I've ever seen a donation version of a DT cannon before. But hey, it's not exactly the worst thing to use, and DT cannon's not terrible. So I'll give Green Keys prop for the creativity. And already Panic gonna have to.
Maybe they're just like they're just in the mood of get as many pieces down as possible, so they can get down faster.
Yeah, and they also really need the pieces that they want in order to make it successfully pay off. And Green Keys is definitely the type of person that would want that in the best of their favor. And it definitely looks like Green Keys going for the 9-0 on top of a bit of a stack here. That is completely fixable with the spin, and Green Keys does manage to find it with the Z-spin, making good usage of the all-spin meta here. But not to the best, but still a pretty prime example of why all of this is important. And oh, it definitely looks like Panic over here trying to cheese Green Keys up, but with a slight bit of canceling here, Green Keys just ain't having it. A very tempered game here between both these players. And already it does seem like Green Keys is so high on the board, but it's ammo for a weapon of mass destruction, which Green Keys might need to save up for. Not exactly getting the best build ever, but of course being able to build on top of it is the best course of action. Beautiful donut from Green Keys. Already getting that damage off, but Panic feels quite possibly nothing in comparison. And
It feels like Panic might be a lot stronger in just like upstacking and getting that pressure across the Green Keys. But Green Keys, albeit being slower in that regard, they're a lot more confident with downstacking and just keeping their board clean. Like Panic over here doing a, I guess that's not mech, but like really just.
Oh, just a normal free wide floating?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't think I would call it necessarily mech, perchance, but... But already it does seem like Panic is on top of the board here. Green Keys looking mighty strong here. Panic having a hard time trying to find the T-piece. They do manage to find it, but in the worst case scenario, they top out way too late.
Another point for Green Keys.
Already such a strong lead here.
Yeah, Green Keys here starting off now with just the PC sprint stack and Panic going with alright.
that lasted fast.
Yeah, that was fast.
I thought that was like an interesting like donut with PCO upstack, but with the decision making in hand, I don't think it was the best thing ever, but there was an attempt. I will say there was an attempt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Green Key's not going to be able to get the DT Cannon Dono continuation in time, which is going to leave Panic room for damage here. And already so high on the board, there's no eyepiece here. Green Keys is playing a bit of a dangerous game here, and that's not going to work in their favor. Panic heading up into the lead, potentially leading GT to a very strong victory if he keeps up the momentum.
Yeah, it's not looking good in terms of points.
And already Panic not going to get the MS2 PC, but still already making the color clear happen. Are they going to find another DT cannon? Oh, okay, I thought they were going to do that. But meanwhile, Green Key's playing it very low and slow. Here on the board here.
Honestly, not a bad strategy. Like, when you're up against a much higher ranked... Well, maybe not much higher ranked, but just like when you have the disadvantage, it's better to keep it safe and plonk more of their garbage.
Which, it definitely looks like Green Keys' play is just to try to at least build up, or at least ramp up some sort of setup that could lead to a bit of action here between both Panic and Green Keys. None of them either going for back-to-back in general, but already it does seem like both of these players playing it very, very safe here. Bit of a T-waste on Green Keys' end, but it's already enough to try to get their well open. They do have a count to 6 here. The T-spin double with the eyepiece. They do manage to find it. Green Keys also laying it up with a downstack. Not continue it with a mini T-spin into... Oh my god, what a interesting find by Green Keys, but Panic is just completely unfazed, still on top of the board. They do have the potential to rack up some sort of damage here. And already, Green Keys misdropping so many pieces, Panic taking it all the way back into the lead 4-2. Double the amount of points as Green Keys, and... Ooh,
yeah, Panic living up to their namesake. Really just inciting that panic in their opponents.
And already it does look like GT is having a very comfy time here. Looking a bit rough for Uvic. But it definitely looks like Green Keys is trying to refine that playstyle in the best way, because that 5-4 is already decent enough back-to-back damage. Getting a lot of clean to Panic, but when you give Panic the level of ammunition, it can be pretty scary.
Yeah.
Because there's always that...
just continue doing what they were doing before and send more cheese to Panic, because Panic has a harder time dealing with it.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That or the concern of, finding a down stack that could, potentially put his opponent all the way back up to the top. That's also another concern that Green Keys does not want to face with, especially if they want to try to send all of this cheese. Which, speaking of, Panic is having a very rough time with all of this cheese.
Yeah, cheese is really not their strength.
And Green Keys going with 108 PM in 2 minutes? And that's an S+?
Kinda wild.
Huh. I guess a lot of these
S+'s are kind of scary these days. What the heck?
Yeah,
this is not what I remember S+ gameplay to be.
Oh, and just as I say that, commentators curse here, but uncommentators curse over here. Green Keys does manage to find a fix for all this with the dono here, but skips the T-spin in favor of the 9-0 board, which is going to break back-to-back immediately. But nice TSS dono here. Panic over here does manage to find a downstack that could send Green Keys all the way back up. But already, when I say all the way back up, Green Keys does manage to find an escape route.
It definitely feels like Green Keys sets up more setups without the right resources in hand.
And already it does seem like Green Keys, Uvic's captain, is starting to stay a bit more comfy and safe here with the stacking decisions, and especially with what Panic has been going through right now, which is of course complete and utter chaos. Trying to find any T-spin that can work, any situation that can hopefully benefit, but unfortunately none of the skins are going to help Panic. Completely high on the board, they need to get themselves down, and they also need another eyepiece in order to get themselves back on back at the bottom of the board, sending so much to Green Keys immediately. Good tank by Green Keys, gonna be able to open up that well, but they need another eyepiece. Where's the eyepiece, Green Keys? They do manage to find it. They don't want the funnel here. God, they need another eyepiece, and already Green Keys is looking a bit petrified by this. Panic is building up some damage with the 9-0. Not gonna go for the quad. Not gonna go for the quad either. Panic is just skimming.
Green Keys just needs to keep on consistently going down. Not get stuck or stunned in the way that Panic tends to induce.
And already Green Keys does manage to find the T-spin over here, trying to fix it in some sort of way, but Panic does have the T-spin with the forecast at hand, and it definitely looks like Panic seems to be a bit more advanced with this playstyle. Something I would definitely not expect from an S player. I'm impressed. And already it does
just like needs to send more damage.
Yeah, because it's already
yeah, there we go.
Because already it does seem like a lot of these matches go pretty lengthy because none of these punishes happen more frequently between either player.
For sure.
It's mainly either skimming or just generally just this. Oh, what is it? I really can't say decision making again, but mainly just
no, I get what you mean. Like sometimes when you're just like that much, when you're that much higher in rank, you can like get away with some riskier plays, like especially if your opponent is all the way at the top. Just like, you know, just do some silly spike and get them out. If they die to it, then who cares about your board state after? Maybe that's a hot take.
That's understandable. And already it looks like Panic going on match point here, which could give GT the eventual win here. Green Key is not going to go for DT cannon this time going for TKI. Not going to continue with the LSD, unfortunately going to have to break in favor of 9-0. Their comfort zone over here. Going to send Panic so much damage, which already you can definitely see between Green Keys' playstyle. He's trying to go for more damage, trying to make rounds last just a bit shorter here. And already he's getting some decent enough damage. No surge, unfortunately. But definitely looks like that Green Keys is playing for cheese. I mean, I don't know what else I could say.
Maybe, yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's kind of hard to balance, right? Like, how do you both send cheese and pressure? Unless you're like, well, I guess that's where downstacking comes in. Just like downstack and then all your opponent gets is cheese. Or maybe like PS singles and such.
And already it definitely looks like Panic seems to be greeting for some sort of eyepiece as Green Keys sent enough pressure to not send Panic back to, you know, a match point victory. Green Key is going to go for that bit of a DT cannon here. Does manage to find the quad. And already Panic trying to look for a downstack here, which they do manage to dig for a quad. Green Keys unfortunately dropping the T at the worst possible time, but they do manage to pick themselves up, but already so greedy here. They need to dig for the quad, which they do. Definitely seems like Panic needing to find the correct punish at the right time because Green Keys is just living on their own, on the ropes. And Panic is just looking for that T-spin, and not even in time, unfortunately. Green Keys, Team Uvic's captain, losing to GT, but still quite a hold on between all these players. Already 27-13 in favor of GT. I don't think the last match can be played that way unless, you know, they have to, but already it does look like GT is looking mighty comfy with this lead. Uvic unfortunately falling from behind, but they still held up a pretty strong fight. Green Keys.
Yeah, it's tough. Honestly, at points like these, I just think sometimes about, like, there were a couple of formats that CTO was considering before we settled with buying Counterpick, I think. But there was one format which was just like, you can gamble the amount of points. Like you can say, oh, I am going to I bet 5 points that I'm going to win this match, and then that could lead to some very silly situations where you have like S rank going against X rank for like they only need 1 win. But I don't know. That was just kind of a troll format. But sometimes
Which definitely
yeah.
Go ahead. Which definitely does look like it, because we do have Bay City, the highest ranked player of the entire series, compared to Tomorrow. Oh, and speaking on gambling, we're talking about Bay City's status.
It's okay, Tomorrow. You just gotta gamble. Get that 1 point. I think that's like morale win, right? I don't know.
I mean, listen, I played Valitro, and I can attest to
if
that.
I took off 1 round against a U rank as a B rank, I'm not B rank, but if that happened, I'd be like, god damn, I'm popping off. You know, it's like when you enter a tournament and then you win against someone who is like much higher seeded than you. Okay, Bay City is just trolling.
Is Tomorrow doing 6 restacking as a B rank? Without holds? Okay, as soon as I say that. But still, that is surprising. I don't think that was intentional, but incredibly
I guess
wise.
they're both just having fun and warm up.
Yeah. And looks
Honestly,
like Bay
I'm kind of
City.
curious what I'm assuming that these teams are probably having like VCs and whatever. Honestly, I'm just kind of curious. Like, it's probably going. They're probably like. Imagine the kind of inside jokes are like cheering on. You know, like they might be going like, Tomorrow, you just gotta get us 1 point. It's like one. I don't know. You know what I mean?
It definitely looks like Tomorrow winning the warm-up round. I think Bay City was playing on one-handed, according to, probably as a joke, but still, interesting. But even though
what
GT
is that one? Sorry, continue.
Even though GT clearly has the upper hand in winning, and it definitely seems less likely that that Uvic might come back from this. I'm pretty sure the last round might be playing just a bit for the funny, if I say so myself. And already it looks like Tomorrow, unfortunately misdropping their J piece, trying to find themselves an outing here while Bay City sets up a fractal. They need the second T piece though. But
oh dear.
Tomorrow just doesn't want to send it.
Okay. Bay City's
Right,
gonna hit Tomorrow with a spike that sends him into Tomorrow.
It's going to. What if Bay City does like a polymer opener just on a whim?
God.
I'm not encouraging anything. I'm just saying as a hypothetical.
I mean, it's not exactly BM, right?
Really isn't. I mean,
I think Among Us would be more BM, but I think polymer is like reasonable.
yeah. I feel
Not encouraging it, but
I feel like GT, because they're already in the lead of everything, it definitely looks like they're not really there to take it too seriously anymore. Bay City is listening to the stream.
I mean, maybe that's not such a bad thing. Tomorrow can just enjoy playing.
Oh no, don't tell me Bay City is looking up polymer openers. Oh no. I said I wasn't encouraging anything, dude.
No, I doubt it. They're probably just like...
I mean, they've already won! They've already won! I can't let humiliation get to them, but Tomorrow is just... I think they're just having fun.
I'm gonna be real. You know, this kind of like... If you're super arrogant to the point you're searching up polymer T-spins, not saying that they are, but if they're like going AFK in the middle of round, you know, that's perfect opportunity for Uvic to take off a point. You know, that's like...
I mean, listen, like I said, they've already won, so I doubt that, like, all this is going to
It's like the
matter.
kind of humiliation thing, right? Like, how would you feel if you were U-rank and you lost, like, 2 points to a B rank? I'd like... My teammates would not let me live that down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I would feel, like, embarrassed. Like I said,
for real.
Not encouraging anything. Just a thought. But
Yeah,
that
so
looks
like,
like
I don't know. At this point, it's like competing for brownie points, and in a team-based competition, I think like, brownie points might kind of mean something. Because, you know, the team can go and get brownies afterwards and be like, we took one, and they could be like, tomorrow took one thing off of a Uvic. I think we should celebrate this with brownies, you know? I don't know.
Oh, because Bay City tried to learn Fin T Cannon, like, it's not gonna happen. I think Bay City is just looking to try at this point, which definitely looks like they are. Of course, tomorrow's definitely more of a beginner that way, so of course having a matchup against that is kind of very unfortunate.
I don't know. It's like the spirit of a team competition, I think.
Of course, rooting for your like lower ranked players is always respectful in a way. I will say though, they are learning 6-free stacking, so I'm happy to hear that.
Respectful.
Is Bay City doing a Trinity? Wait, that's an STSD. Why did I say a Trinity? And already, it does look like Bay City is digging just a bit for another T-spin here. If they find a PC here, I'm gonna be upset. Tomorrow, having a hard time here, but they are digging for some singles and flat board states here. Oh, but the double hard drop though, that's already depth sign. Depth blah 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 casting. Sorry. I have no words. I have no words for this. That's
kind of real. No, it's okay tomorrow. Like, save. It's okay. Uvic can win another day. They can win tomorrow. You know, like maybe one of your teammates can queue into I don't know, a GT and like beat them in TL or something. But like, just try your best. It's okay.
I hope the pressure isn't too much.
Oh well.
I think that's
Good
serious.
I think they still got some play in, you know, like it wasn't complete sweep, but sometimes that's really disheartening as a B rank. I don't know, depends on the B rank in question. Like, is it worse to feel humiliated that your opponent is going slow, or worse to be swept all at once?
Yeah. I don't know if I could pick either or, man. I don't know if my brain is fried from, and I felt bad.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Good playing overall from both teams, though. Pretty amusing to see.
Especially with a double-digit point counter for Uvic over here. They definitely tried her all with this strategy. I was 100% expecting them to try to build up until their strongest player, but it definitely looks like they were trying to work with what they have. So I think the counter pick strategy might be, unfortunately, a bit kind of loose, but already it does seem like both of these teams did in fact pull up their all, and
yeah,
I don't blame them.
The plays, and especially like some people completely outperforming what we'd expected. Like some S pluses just like having, I don't know. Would you agree? Like they had sometimes like U rank gameplay. Anyway, maybe
definitely.
Just different. Yeah.
Definitely. I think a lot of these players, especially in the lower divisions here, have gotten better over time, especially if they're relatively new to the game, which allows them to learn more techniques that might be more modern in that kind of standard.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Of course, keeps getting higher when it comes to, you know, competitive play in general. So
yeah, like as time goes on, the entire player base is just gonna get better and better. Like you see, like even, well, maybe it's not fair, but like the overall sprint, like the best sprint time is like at what, 14? Some insane number now, 14.
Oh, definitely sub 14 at the point.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, I think that's it for this block. That was University of Victoria versus GT. Someone tell me what GT stands for. I don't want to get this wrong.
That's fine. But aside from that, I think that might be Georgia Tech, right? I could be wrong.
Either way, good showing from both teams. It was really enjoyable watching it, and good luck to your future matches. And we'll come back after an intermission. Oh well, TGK will come back after this intermission to ask for. Tell us what the next match is.
For the next match, it definitely
You
looks...
lost it, right?
I think the next match will be UBCA versus UT Austin.
Right. Alright. Well, it was great commentating with you, and
Absolutely.
we'll see you guys then.
Mama? Okay, well, he's TDK, would you like to do the opening statements? It's correct. I like the statements again. Oh, I'm from Maryland. We hate you guys. It's like the sports rivalry. Yeah. Have I got high speed? I can do
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to CTL this Sunday. I am one of your hosts, TGK, and I'm joined by the one, the only, Big Joe.
Oh my god. Hi, Squiddies. I'm so good. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for CTL to come back. This is the only good thing of February.
And I'm so glad to be a newcomer here. Of course you have to say that, dude. I'm old, dude, but aside from that, what a good showing from Georgia Tech last match, but it definitely looks like we're going to the more upper side of the entire league here, which is going to be UBCA versus UT Austin, which I'd say is going to sound pretty fun if I say so.
Yeah, these are the A team, or A bracket teams, rather, which means, at least in terms of Glicko, which I think is how these brackets are seeded, they will be on the higher ends, and well, once we get into the games, I'm sure we'll see some high octane gameplay. No Apex reference.
I haven't played that game in years. But aside from that, yeah, it definitely looks like we have a bit more of a U-rank focused league here, or not league, a bit of a more of a U-rank focused series here, which we definitely have the likes of, looks like we have the likes of Areola, we have Grandfather's Aura, Grandfather's Oil, Kipuru, we got Hyperlink, we got Torrential, we got all of these players, we got a lot of them mainly from Canada here, I think might be from UBC's end, if I say. Am I correct or am I not?
UBC is, in fact, a Canadian university. Personally, as the most educated American out there, I definitely knew that before joining CTL myself.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, well, you know, why would I go to Canada, dude? What's there? Like geese? Dude, we have those here too, bro. Like, you know.
Really, aside from that, it definitely looks like that this entire set might be stacked by the looks of it. I could definitely see a lot of even, depending on how things are gonna go, because we have a lot of U ranks, very, very, very little S ranks, but hey, that's called level of balancing.
Yeah, like I said, these are the 18 brackets, so they are going to be some gamers, I think would be the best adjective I can come up with. I know we were talking a little bit before we came on air that some of these players might hover their cursor over the Blitz section instead of the Tetra League for a bit. Do you have any players you have your eyes on?
I have my eyes on Kipuru as one of the more highly ranked players, ones that are in the X regions. Not to mention they are ranked top 25 in Blue, because I do believe that Kipuru has a lot of flashy potential here next to someone like, let's just say, I forget who else there, Torrential, but Torrential being below Kipuru is already a good sign of, you know, player scaling and whatnot. Even though UT Austin is on the lower seeded side of the entire series, I still think they have some very strong and star-studded players. Especially ones around like the U region, which is already pretty good if you're committing to Tetris in general.
Yeah, I mean, I dropped to SS like yesterday, so
sorry to hear that.
It's all good. Yeah, no, absolutely. These teams are no joke. UT Austin being the 15th seed of the tournaments, that's still considered pretty high. There's like 40-something teams, I believe, we have registered. And I mean, seeding aside, you can just look at these players. I mean, like I said, they're all better than me. So it'll be a fun one to watch, I'd imagine. We are waiting just a little bit on the blind pick to start. Do you have any opener favorites by chance? Any things you're hoping to see from these amazing Blitz?
I am hoping for more MS2 play, more PCO upstack, anything that doesn't involve less powerful openers. Like, let's just say nowadays we don't usually get PC spam anymore because meta changes that we saw from 2 onward, and it definitely looks like a lot of these players are adapting to more free-form playstyles, which, judging by a lot of these new ranked players, have managed to begin or slowly or have already mastered to the best that they can.
while still having a bit of things that hold them back in this kind of ranked tier. But aside from that, you could definitely see both of these teams looking pretty strong. And already, we got our first 100 APM player here. We got Hyperlink versus Kimmy.
Yes.
With the with the Squid Game profile pic.
Yeah, Kimmy has absolutely played these games before. They are no rookie to, well, these games.
I mean, when you have at least 1,591 levels to your game selection, I would feel like I've played these games before. Every single second, every single outcome. You've definitely seen every play style, every opener. It's not one or the other. That's just.
Yeah, we'll see how Kimmy's storied experience takes them as we head into the warm-up.
And already Hyperlink with the new DT cannon to start off with. Kimmy going for the PCO upstack. Does manage to break a bit of back-to-back here, but Hyperlink already going for the surge build-up, which is already going to give Kimmy a bit of a disadvantage here before they even pull out the surge. Hyperlink gets the first warm-up match of the series.
Yeah, a bit of an unlucky misdrop with the T-piece there, but I don't know. I personally, I don't think warm-ups beat anything. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe this is just like a skill gap because it never helps me. We'll see how it takes how this set ends up unfolding. It did seem like Hyperlink had a bit of a PPS advantage, but I mean that was not the longest of rounds to base our opinions off of.
Already, it does look like. Ooh, definitely looks like already Hyperlink going for a bit of an LST stack here. Kimmy already on top of the board, but still has the count to 6 to make up for it. They do manage to find a dig just perfectly. Gonna have to extend that dono a bit, trying to dig themselves down just for that quad. Finding the quad immediately, like Hyperlink is gonna have to play a bit more pressure here, but Kimmy seems to be counteracting that immediately. But it's already a lot for Hyperlink to defend, which is gonna leave in a bit of a bad spot here.
Especially with that misdrop.
Yeah.
Not looking.
Oh, Kimmy had an outing here, unfortunately, but the misdrop is way too early.
Yeah, definitely unlucky. I think for me, obviously, you can look as much as you want at player stats and TR and all that, but for me, in my experience, the biggest factor in tournament play is honestly just nerves.
100% at that.
Yeah,
and
so. Ooh, okay. Kimmy's fighting back with a very fast route.
And you can tell by
so fast.
And you can tell by the hesitation from Hyperlink that they kind of messed up their LST stack and didn't know what to do to adapt to that. So of course they're obviously going to have outcomes that won't work in your favor, especially if you're someone like Hyperlink who goes for one setup and tries to consistently put that on as a game plan. But if you're someone like Kimmy who can be able to, of course, get rid of all of those nerves in favor of having to, play to focus, you can definitely make insane wonders, and especially if you get rid of all these nerves that might make you a better player in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, both these players are. I don't want to call them too fast, but listen, I would not be happy if I was playing against them. I'll tell you that much.
When you're a U-rank player, it's all about them stratting, dude. It's easy damage and easy pressure. But if you don't have that pressure, then it's already a loss. And already Hyperlink starting to mess up a bit of their DT cannon here, and the eyepiece not in the place that they want it to be. Kimmy tying it up yet again.
Yes, honestly, blink and it's already 2-2. I mean, these players they're scrapping. They're scrapping. Another TK opener, excuse me. See how this one unfolds. Boards look near identical. Not anymore.
Kimmy having a very, very good looking board here. One to continue off their LST. And Kimmy building to break that surge immediately, opening up the garbage while sending a lot of cheese to Hyperlink already. Hyperlink having a bit of a sticky situation here. Looking to find a small combo to send a bit more cheese, but not enough to cancel entirely. Alrighty, it does seem like Hyperlink wants to find a bit of skim damage here. All the while, Kimmy is just trying to keep things low and slow. The stratting from Hyperlink is already enough to send so much pressure, just
based on these skill sets alone, but Kimmy's gonna send Hyperlink all the way back, having to cancel just about a chunk of damage. And
Yeah, both these players are definitely sending lots of lines. Kimmy's fighting back, just not enough. Kim's not enough cancel.
Definitely not enough to survive from that. Kimmy had the sequence to try to get out of that, what was that, row 18 scenario, but just wasn't save themselves. Already the third point going to Hyperlink. And it seems like a lot of skimming here by the looks of it. You can definitely see why Kimmy is just trying to play a bit more passively.
Yeah, I mean, especially in this like tournament environment, right? Like I said, maybe I won't call it overcompensation, but you know, a safe board is better than a dead board, you know. So
yeah, I guess you could call it that. And a lot of U ranks tend to really go for a bit of a fluctuating kind of playstyle. And as someone who has frequented U rank a lot, it is relatively common to see a lot of these players try to not take too many risks, but also not trying to play a bit, you know, trying not to play a bit inf-DSC in a way.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll see who can tackle their nerves first. Hyperlink not with the best placement, but Kimmy not with the flattest either.
Hyperlink was trying to find Hyperlink was trying to find an eyepiece there, but because of that resource management that they tried to like fix with, it just wasn't enough to save themselves, making a lot of disparities that unfortunately costed them in the long run. Not exactly in the long run, but enough that their board just unfortunately dies. Hyperlink trying again with the new DT cannon, gonna go to that 7-2 LST stack that they feel so confident.
Yeah, that was unbelievably fast from Hyperlink. That DT was like 3.8 PPS, I believe.
Yeah, that is consistently powerful with that level of back-to-back, and unfortunately having to greet a bit of a T-spin here, trying to build an overhang, but just was too pressured enough to even pull it off just in time. Kimmy with a bit of SDPC here, not going for the floating, probably might be the safe measure, but the double hard drop looking pretty scary here, but just wasn't enough. And match point gonna go to Hyperlink, clearly in the lead. It looks like Hyperlink is pretty the first matchup here. Already a good start to UBC already.
Yeah, it looks like Hyperlink does have that, I don't know what it's called, but some sort of DT follow-up, although...
Oh, that's new DT cannon. That's basically...
Oh, that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's a very refined DT cannon that can lead into a PC loop, but usually can lead into all sorts of situations.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see if they don't misdrop it this time. Well, not actually electing to go into it, as... I was gonna say both players' boards almost identical again, but no longer. A bit of a misdrops Hyperlink's board, but pretending like it's not there, which respect.
And already it does seem like Kimmy getting prepared for a massive surge from Hyperlink, but would that be enough to suffice? It definitely looks like Hyperlink's not gonna send all that much to Kimmy, as Kimmy is also low on the board. Gonna have to waste a bit of a T here, gonna get sent 2 lines of cheese. Not exactly too bad for Kimmy, but not exactly the best in any situation. Good forecast from Hyperlink. It definitely seems like looking pretty comfortable here. Kimmy getting that quad off as soon as they dig. And already
it is super up. We'll see if they're able to dig through this not favorable board state.
Oh my god, Hyperlink tried to find a floating, but just didn't have the right piece set up for it. Kimmy could come back from this if they keep up the momentum.
Yeah, this is a super close first round. We'll end up seeing what happens. I would like to think both players are kind of in their mojo. Nerves look to be a little bit taken out, as they are both 3 PPS.
Yep. And it definitely... It definitely does look like that Hyperlink is succumbing to a lot of nerves, as we were talking about nerves earlier in the stream here. And it's definitely something that Hyperlink has to mitigate in favor of getting this set win. And Kimmy is having a hard time trying to get some APM started. They're gonna need another eyepiece here. already so high on the board, filled with cheese, getting higher and higher. This is not exactly the best look for Kimmy. Hyperlink is just freestyling and just going non-stop with this APM spam. Gonna find the oh no. Oh, Hyperlink.
The ice spin?
Oh, but the ice spin though. Kimmy's already still so high though.
Yeah, Kimmy's not really able to find too much damage. Still digging through the cheese that Hyperlink had sent a while back. Finally gets through it, but just a little bit too late. Hyperlink has managed to find their way down.
Yeah, but what an unfortunate, very quick misdrop. Seems like they got really cocky with that, setup, but just misdropping so much, just not making it work in their favor. But they are gonna try again with the surge build-up. Kemi's already so low on the board, but they're already sent so much clean. But with the board state that they're in, I don't know if they can recover just in time.
Yeah, managing to cancel that initial quad. Still fighting friends.
Oh, not optimal, unfortunately, as Hyperlink takes the first round for the team for UBC. Already getting started, 8-5. Kimmy seeming to have a very strong showing for UT Austin. Doesn't seem too bad as a start, but all that matters is with the confidence of UBC, it could depend on how either did go in the next coming rounds.
I believe between those two players there was, I wouldn't say significant TR difference, but one player is definitely favored. We'll see. I wouldn't be too upset with that performance if I was.
Combined with tournament nerves, you can definitely see why Hyperlink felt a bit shaky in the last couple of rounds before they would take the set. Which, to be fair, everyone does suffer from tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have experienced it myself as well, but you know, it is a team match after all. You know, so we'll see if anyone's able to fight back for their homies. You know.
Absolutely, they're squiddies.
Yes, they're squiddies. I'm so glad you're embracing Gen Alpha slang.
I'm too old for this, man.
But we already talked about this. You can't say that because I'm older than you.
No, but I'm still in my 20s. So are you. It's not like 20? We're not the same.
Dude, can you believe 10 years ago I was like just entering high school?
10 years ago I was just entering middle school.
I'm gonna need a cane by the end of this.
How do you think I feel? My back is messed up, let me tell you.
Oh no. We'll see what's the next player's picks turn out to be. It looks like UBC has chosen Ian.
Ian 9044. Definitely like it.
Yes,
definitely taking long walks with her cat along the beach side. And UBC is around like either coast of Canada, right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, listen, it's the beach, so it could be on either coast. Or am I not wrong? Or am I wrong?
I didn't even know it was on the beach. Listen, why would I listen? I love my Canadian homies. What's there? Tell me. Why would I know? Why would I need to know about Canada? Give me one good reason.
I mean, it's UBC. It could be like British Columbia.
Oh,
someone said Vancouver. Someone said Vancouver, so yeah, it definitely looks good. But already, it does seem like they picked. Definitely looks like UT Austin has picked out a counter pick. Definitely looks like Durabago. Both of them similar in versus score, actually.
Oh, but you know what? Duragabo has beaten Freybot while it was in early development, which is. I mean, listen. Freyho is no slack, so Freybot, I'm sure. I haven't played it. I only play like Clear, but I'm sure Freybot's no slouch either. As we do get into the warm-ups, Duragabo with the funny MKO opener.
And of course, getting a bit of an all-spin fix here too, making good usage of the mechanics early on. And it definitely looks like Duragabo looking to play for a bit of a skim play. Mindlessly going fast, but already not too fast to the point of misdropping about like 20 different pieces at once, but still pretty fast in their own regard.
Yeah, I mean, both players were playing around 2.8 from their opening burst. Although it seems like only Ian is really maintaining that. Although Dergabo's not too far off either. Both players super high up on their boards.
Ooh. Nice down stack from Ian over here. Already giving a lot of cheese to Dergabo. But Dergabo was trying to look for a kiting here, but does fix it very flatly, digging down to the bottom of their board. Both of these players in a very neutral spot on the playfield. But already Dergabo getting that 9-0, starting and running. Gonna get that 3-6 stack here. And already with a nice find, Dergabo must need to send in order to send Ian back to the bottom. Patience from Ian here, gonna be able to get themselves back on the floor here, but still so high and on the ropes.
Yeah,
Barely
risky
greedy.
T-spin, not having the T and Q. Can they find their way down? Just not enough. Digging. Dergabo, maybe taking what I said to heart and speeding all the way back up to 2.8 PPS mid-game. Does manage to close out the warm-up.
Yeah, what a very strong showing from Dergabo over being able to set a lot of pressure to Ian. Ian does seem to be pausing a bit more than you, which could be explanatory by the by the amount of time it takes for Ian to find a setup generally. But already we are getting started with the set here. SCPC Sin versus General 9 I know. And already Ian misdropping so many pieces. I'm sure UCB is not having a great time looking at that. Already does look like Dergabo is kicking things off immediately. I sure hope Ian isn't going for nerves at them.
Yeah, I mean, they played great during warm-up. Let's just hope that it's a one-time thing. I mean, playing 5 now as well. Finding the 180 all spin. Keeping their back-to-back there at 7 at the moment. Just breaking Commentator's Curse.
Absolutely.
I have not played Tetris since season 1. What's the strat with Surge as a
Usually you
ranked
have to
player?
Usually you have to build up Surge as much as you can if you find consistent spin strategies, especially with all spin, which now counts as a mini spin. So if you have to build surges in a way that your opponent has to be vulnerable in order to send it, which if you can find it with just the right moment, with the right amount of sending, you could downstack, skim, and if your opponent is way high on the board and doesn't have anything to survive off of it, you punish with the surge, and it's so much damage that they really can't do anything about it, unless you get like enough surge that it wouldn't matter regardless. But already it definitely looks like Ian was trying to build that on top of it, but not have the right cue to go off it, which is going to leave Dergabo with a very strong 0.
Alright. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, it's not too similar from I guess, just Season 1, playstyle where, I mean, the formula to success, if you would, is just cheese and spike, right?
Yeah. But, of course, when it comes to adapting to these new mechanics, of course you're going to have to learn them at their best, so... Of course, that's why we see a lot of new and old players learn to adapt to that sort of... Like, for example, even though CZ Small, like, one of the most consistent and most efficient players in the game, who hasn't played a tournament in almost a year, he has played with the Season 2 rule set before and hasn't done too terribly on it because he knows how to maintain back-to-back in the best way possible. Because he's learned how to chain that consistently. And there's a lot of players that have abused that to the fullest, like Fortism, who has managed to take some very strong, but not too unlikely upsets against players like Diao, who has won TC 2023.
Right.
So, of course, the potential is there for a lot of new and old players. Adapt to the surge mechanic, of course, be able to get through with it in the best way that they can. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Alright, I mean, everything you said makes sense. let's see which of these players is able to adapt, I guess, the best.
Definitely looks like Ian... Definitely looks like Ian was trying to look for plenty of T-spins here, but not exactly making the best out of it, but still
having a lot of room to play it a bit flat, while Durgabo's just skimming for the life that they can. Unfortunately, going to go to 8-1, but I have no idea what happened there, but it did not look pretty.
Yeah, it's Ian sending just enough lines to top Durgabo out. Honestly, it just adapts so fast. Durgabo finding the fruit salad, as some would call it.
And
already
it does look like Durgabo is looking pretty comfy here. Ian not gonna top out this time, just warning signs might seem. But already they do manage to get the proper downstack out of the way, using the extra T as the overhang, getting a nice downstack that could punish Durgabo, getting the lead that Ian wants.
Yeah, Durgabo not having the best board state. A bit of a misdrop. We'll see if they're able to clean it up.
Oh, but Ian,
on the flip side.
Yeah, Ian unfortunately not completing the SDP spin. The slight misdrop might cost him a bit of time here, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't matter regardless. That was a pretty unfortunate misdrop that you would not like to see if you were Ian.
Yeah, maybe the commentator's curse happening. My bad. I'll take responsibility for that one.
I'm glad I'm not alone on that, but I don't think I've cursed just yet, so
Well,
I gotta be
don't say
thankful for
that.
that.
Don't say that.
Hey man, I didn't say anything directly, but it definitely looks like Durgabo on the ropes here, but pretty comfy on the bottom side of things.
Yeah,
They do
super
have
high
the-
up on their board. That's a lot of clean was sent, so they're able to dig through it pretty easily. Trying to find their well now.
They wanted to get the quad earlier, but they seemed to skip it earlier, but it does look like that Durgabo wants that T-spin, but still needs to dig, because look at Ian's board. If you were Ian right now, what would you even do with this board state? It's just immaculate.
Yeah, I mean, not even using all the garbage that was sent to him and just building their own. I mean, with some kind of LSD pattern, I would say.
Yeah. It definitely looks like Ian had the right punish too, and Durgabo tried to speed up in order to survive from that, but it was giving Ian 4-3, seeming to be in favor of UBC. UT Austin needs to get some momentum starters here, because already it does seem like Durgabo already gotten a very strong fire starter, but it looks like it's starting to fuse out just a bit, all thanks to Ian's persistence.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels that way. It feels like Ian is definitely like an aggressive stacker, I would say. Very, very easy to feel like they have momentum. But I mean, look at the score, and it's only 4-3, right? Like it is a very tight set between these two. We'll see how tight it could be after Ian, if Ian gets through all this cheese, because after their own cheese, they have a lot more to go through.
Yeah, and it looks like Ian is not exactly having the best of times. Durgabo tying it up for the 4th time. Looks like a back and forth set between both of these players. Just be lucky to, or in these qualifiers for this exact tournament.
Yeah, Durgabo actually, both players seemingly not finding their Ultra Blitz LST stacking. They do both burn T's in the stack, having to bail, and we are now into the juicy cheesy
you love to
game.
see it. And of course, getting started with that 15 spike, gonna get a bit of cheese at Durgabo, but still has so much clean on the bottom, as you can see from Durgabo's board, but already so skim heavy with the 9-0. Ian does find a beautiful fractal, gonna send 12 to Durgabo.
Yeah, but Durgabo having the cancel available, not in danger yet. Ian, again, having a bit of a cheesy board. Durgabo having a lot cleaner to work with, but sending even more cheese, not really able to find the clean pressure I think that they'd like.
I think that might have been slight hubris on Ian's end when it came to that fractal, as already they seem to be resetting back to a more frantic playstyle as it seems. And by the looks of it, Durgabo is looking to find a bit of clean here. Gonna get that color clear off, going to that 6 restack. Not looking a bit as fast as they want it or as they hope, but not sure what happened there. But Durgabo just way too much on top of the board.
Yeah, Ian, this is probably, I think, the third round now where they've managed to send literally just enough damage where Durgabo probably tops out on line 20.
Don't tell me Durgabo ties it again. This looks like Ian's on top of the board, and it's an I think.
Not yet, Ian's still fighting. Ian's still fighting.
Unless...
Yeah, some great down stacking. Opening up the T-spin single.
So pretty good recovery from Ian here. Looks like Durgabo is going to have to play a bit more safer here. Going to succumb for skims. Trying to get themselves back to a board state that they're more comfortable in. But because they're so high on the board, they're going to need to find an outing for this. Which already seems a bit difficult. But Ian, on the other hand, seeming to suffer from the same qualms that Durgabo was having. But already it does seem like Durgabo, not looking too flashy, but not too scary either. But
yeah,
with the double quad though.
Kind of the vibe I'm getting from these two players is Ian's a lot more willing to sit a little bit on top of cheese, on top of their board to just find those huge spikes in Durgabo. Trying to find their clean boards, managing to do exactly that, and they're out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, both these players are utilizing more Tetrises in this set, or in this round, than the previous rounds that they've had before, and Durgabo is making good usage of that. But already Ian, looking very tough here. They're gonna need to dig just perfectly, but unfortunately not enough. The fifth tie.
Being run out of their eyepieces definitely makes downstacking those large spikes harder. And you spoke it. That was your curse. It's tied.
Oh,
you did it.
boy.
Now you're officially a commentator. It's like a badge of honor.
it's you could say it's a requirement at this point. But either way, back to the match though. It definitely looks like Ian not gonna top themselves out, but already given enough garbage damage thanks to Durgabo's pressure, which doesn't look too terrible by the surface here. Looks like Durgabo's not gonna send too much, but not too little. Both these players trying to upstack for a T-spin. Durgabo getting sent up and up and up, but already with a lot of cheese, this might be a bit tough for Durgabo.
Finding their way out pretty cleanly.
Yeah, with the garbage-made hamburger over here, Ian does have the open well and is going for that LST that they so love.
So clean.
Yeah, look at that damage.
Oh my goodness.
If I was Durgabo, what would I be doing?
Going to the next round, as we are.
And on a match point scenario, it could either Ian taking the set or Durgabo taking the Ian to match point. But considering that both players went to a tiebreaker, not tiebreaker situation, but a tie 5 times, I would be surprised if this happened again.
Yeah, Durgabo staying as low on the board as possible, and it's working out. I mean, there we are.
And ladies and gentlemen and non-binary folk, we ourselves a tiebreaker in CTL. For our first tiebreaker of the night.
Yep. Looks like both players are trying to stay a little bit safer. One thing I have noticed is I believe Ian has been slowing down their gameplay. Their PPS counter has been not 2.8 as we saw in the beginning steps of this round. So maybe trying to find their way down a little bit cleaner. Let's see if it ends up paying off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of clean, look at Ian's board here. It definitely looks like he's trying to go for more damage here, trying to build up for surge here. But already with the amount of garbage that Durgabo's been sending, with a lot of the empty-guessing that we saw from both from Durgabo here, it's already enough to counteract with Ian's aggressive playstyle, which of course is always just pure APM spam. I mean, just look at Durgabo. What can you do against that?
Oh yeah, just not enough skims, not enough to dig it out, and wow, I mean, what a set. Both this set and the first one were, both players I believe were very evenly matched, and
yep,
there we are. 16-11 in favor of UBC.
Unfortunately, it definitely looks like that UT Austin is leading behind against UBC, which UBC seems pretty comfortable with a lot of their star-studded players, and Ian has done a very beautiful job at showcasing that giving up is not the best way to go out.
Yeah, I mean, It really did seem like both players hit their stride towards the end of the set. We did see a lot less death by misdrop.
Yeah,
as we did.
It does
see.
happen to the best of us. I mean, as a fellow, I could say, you know, I misdrop more than I should.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does. I mean, the number of misdrops you should be doing is 0, right? So, I mean, we're all guilty. We're all guilty.
Yeah. But,
We
by the way,
are waiting.
that was a good showing between both of these players, though, even if it's that, Durgamo was having a very rough time during the tiebreak. But hey, it was fun to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, honestly, I'm just really impressed with the way Durgamo dealt with most of the cheese that was sent on the entire set. I mean, that's something I'm trying to work on. Work on is like the key phrase there, because I'm not good at it. So, I mean, well, they are high rank, to be fair. They did not drop to SS, as did I. So, we'll see if I can take some notes.
And it definitely does look like that Durgamo gave UT Austin plenty of points to work with, and already we got ourselves our first X rank of the night, which is going to be Kapuru top 20 in Blitz. Not that it matters too much, but look at the stats here. Look at that stats. You can tell that's an X rank player at heart.
Yeah, definitely a little scary for an average human being like myself, but we will see if UT Austin does have a response. UT Austin not really lacking in reserves on their end either.
And it definitely looks like that UT Austin might be planning on a counter pick, according to chat. And it definitely seems like it's the case. They are gonna bring out, I think they're gonna bring out Croissant? Are they not?
Ring ring, it's croissant time.
Oh boy, they're gonna bring out Croissant? Oh, this is...
Yeah, croissants. My goodness, look at those stats. A bit of a difference in PPS, but seeming to be Croissant's, I guess, plonkier playstyle. Plonky wonky, as the term goes.
I mean, listen, plonking is basically very powerful, where a lot of, you know, bursts tends to happen at the most patient times. And both these players are going for MKO, too. Which...
Croissant with a difference continuation. I don't think I've seen that one before, really.
Yeah. And it looks like Kapuru does find the STSD immediately. Gonna send Croissant all the way to the top, and not enough to really get them out.
Yeah, really nice from Kapuru. Just that STSD really just being the hole in the coffin, nail in the coffin, excuse me. Locking out that warm-up. I'm excited. I enjoy. I know most people don't. Oh, they don't enjoy playing against it. I really enjoy watching plonking playstyle. I think it's like the rawest form of Tetris. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, this game is like actually a puzzle strategy game. That's so crazy, right? Not an SDPC game. Wow.
It's almost like having to learn setups and resource management and fundamentals is more fun than opener mating.
We'll see. Oh my god, Croissant almost finding the quad PC.
And already they're starting off with the surge immediately, even opening up the well. That's already a good sign for a rank play.
Yeah, this is not the gameplay I was expecting from their stats, but doing wonderfully for them. Kapuru is super cheesed up, and now with a pretty bad misdrop, no eye in the queue, and misdrop right after.
Oh god, Kapuru, unfortunately with a bit of hubris here, hanging on, but giving Croissant the first point. Not exactly something you see every day, but something that UT Austin is very, very happy with. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. When the 1 in 10 is actually good. Oh. Croissant, feeling very fortunate about that. Not so fortunate about this board state though, but they do manage to fix it up immediately. They do open up the well. They are finding a lot of solves I'm not expecting, which is already pretty strong, and Kapuru is, well, what you expect out of an X rank. It's just solid all around.
Yeah, I mean, 30 seconds in, they're still maintaining 120 APM. As expected of their stats, but...
Which is not too dissimilar to Croissant's 120 APM, judging by that quick down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Croissant is just doing a really good job of making use of all the clean that Kapuru is sending. Speaking of, they have tons of clean to work with right now. Able to use it.
This is not looking good for Kapuru! What is your team, my guy? Oh my god, Kapuru already losing 2 rounds immediately to Croissant. This is a 20. Okay.
Yeah, this guy's like almost by right, you know?
This is not looking right, but it definitely looks like Croissant is pretty confident about this.
Wow.
And look at that plonk, and especially with the damage, Kapuru already canceling about half the garbage.
Yeah,
but Croissant really loves his double quads.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're getting sent so much clean, like Kapuru is sending, I mean, they're just sitting there waiting for you, right?
I refuse to believe that this is an actual U rank. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean,
but Kapuru is trying so much to take down Croissant, but it seems like it's a bit more effort than usual. Something that they weren't expecting to do so.
Yeah, I mean, look at this cheese. Kapuru's maintaining 150 APM almost a minute into the round, and Croissant's, you know, not wavering at all. They're trying to find a way
having
down,
a bit of a
not
hard
with the team.
time here. But unfortunately, when you're this confident, trying to keep board state and hearing the sound of your opponent just on the ropes, it's not exactly likely that you're going to get them down to the T. Croissant going to try for the MKL once again. Not going to get the 1 in 10 that they wanted, which is going to top them out immediately, especially after that misdrop.
Yeah, and I mean, just a super quick spike from Kapuru, right? It kind of catches them off guard, I'd imagine.
But hey, it's 3 points for UT Austin.
Yeah, we'll see what the opener is looking like. Croissant, kind of with the freestyle. Both players.
Yeah.
Kind of
Gonna go for the mini continuation too. Gonna get started with the back-to-back. Oh, gonna have to break with the surge though, unfortunately. But already Kapuru is completely cheesed up with a quad well underneath. Definitely looks like something that Kapuru needs to manage as soon as possible, especially with the skill set that they have, and especially with the experience that they built in Season 1, which helps refine those situations. But Croissant, though,
no.
Unfortunately, with the misspin, that's not going to be enough to live for any longer, giving Kapuru the slight lead. Definitely looks like Kapuru is looking more comfortable than the last few rounds.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to think that, I mean, it's always nervous, right? Like, in any tournament, so you'd have to think that Kapuru died to 2 misdrops, right, as their 2 losses,
Yeah.
so...
I mean, when you're playing against a U rank, you're not expected to lose against them, right?
Yeah, but, I mean... Tournament nervous, you know? You can't expect...
And already Croissant making a wall with the IP, not exactly spinning it in the way that they wanted it.
Yeah, I think you need 180 when they're on the lip there, but unable to find it.
Yeah.
Still heading strong with the MKO, did someone say opener?
And it definitely does look like that Kapuru is going to get some early damage out of the way, but enough for Croissant to counterspike with it. Gonna have to play it a bit flat with a few skims here and there. Already, it does seem like that Kapuru is not playing for damage at the moment, but Croissant's gonna try to build something up. I think that eyepiece was not intentional, but it was already enough to rack up damage here, which I think Kapuru might send all the way back, but it all depends on how both these players handle it. And already Kapuru gonna get sent so much cheese, potentially slowing them down, according to Croissant, but not exactly enough to secure it. Kapuru is taking the lead.
Yeah, kind of an unfortunate eye misdrop over the well from Croissant. Kind of the flip side of what's been going on at the start of that, right? Where Kapuru misdrops. I don't think that's considered my curse. I don't think that's my fault.
And already Kapuru is 4 PPSing, but
oh my goodness.
my god, Croissant, what did you do?
I just looked over and fell over and died. Where did all that damage come from?
Tried at like 4 PPS and he got like topped out in seconds.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of just like the strength, right, of the spikes that you can get when you are playing the slower, plunkier playstyle from Croissant, right? You're able to time your attacks just like they did, right? And
I think Kapuru was trying to go for a parapet, but unfortunately missed drop. But that's already a 20 spike that's sent to Croissant. Can't do anything about it, can ya?
yeah, I mean, my goodness, Blinken, it's 6-3, right? Players as fast as Kapuru, you know. You know, rounds really go quickly when you send this much.
Croissant gonna send with this CPC spin, but the unfortunate misdrop for Kapuru gonna have to slow down a bit.
Croissant not actually finding their TP piece in.
Interesting. But already enough to get their LST going, but they choose the down stack. What an interesting decision. Gonna go for minis, exactly the best amount of APM, but both players aren't exactly threatening it.
Yeah, I mean, the plunkier playstyle does tend to be a little more defensive, right? And like I mentioned before, you know, the lines are covered when you're playing someone that sends as much as Kapuru. So, seeming to be, I guess, their game plan, so to speak, is just wait for lines and.
Kapuru might have hard dropped a bit too early, forgot to rotate the eye, which would have been a punish completely against Croissant, but definitely looks like Croissant is playing for a bit of an APM playstyle, but unfortunately the J misdrop might be costly unless they find the dig, and they do.
Yeah, but Kapuru is maintaining the super clean LST stack, just converting.
Oh, it's not enough to mishold! Oh, Croissant. But the efforts that Croissant took to take 3 games off of Kapuru is even a compliment from Kapuru.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both players obviously insane at this game. I'm looking at this post-game stat screen right now. Kapuru had sent 679 lines, and Croissant had only received 595, so almost canceling 100 lines in the span of those 9 games.
That is the sign of a defensive player. That is a lot of lines.
Yeah, that's the strategy game that I love to watch. That's exactly what I love to see.
And even though UBC has double the amount of points as us, you could definitely tell by the free points that... Would there be a comeback? I'm not too sure. This is still a pretty strong lead for UBC.
I don't know. I'm not a math person. But
I think because UBC has 2 X-Rank players, and one of which managed to win an entire set, even though they lost to a 21k with a very plonky style, I still think UT Austin has a chance, but you clearly heading in firsthand, getting a very strong showing off of these first 3 rounds, and almost losing a set to UT Austin despite the point disparity. I still think that this is already the halfway point. Either team can go either way, depending on what's going to happen next. And already have 1 year rank left, 1 X rank.
Yep, looks like UBC has chosen their champion for this next round, Tropical Mango. I mean, I don't know. Regardless of whether the set, or the series rather, is winnable for UT Austin, I just want to see some good Tetris, you know? And these players, it's looking to show us that. I mean, like I said, these are all very highly ranked players with definitely a lot of different skill sets. Yep.
And already it does seem like UBC is getting a lot of their horsepower, well, prematurely here, especially when it comes to draft here. And Tropical Mango, being the last U rank that they have, might be in favor of releasing Torrential, another X rank player, which could potentially take them to set, but UT Austin has chances to turn it around in their favor, even if it's that you've taken the lead ahead of time. So
yes,
it all depends if they bring out Aerolia or Cheaper.
Yeah, but have you
like
considered that UT Austin has Areola? Yeah.
Areola.
Yeah.
Against Tropical Mango, I'm interested to see how this goes, but I guess while warm-up plays, I do need to get a drink. When I come back, we shall catch onward and upward.
Absolutely. Surely the warm-up won't end before you get back. I guess I'm doing solo comp. Both players starting with the exact same opener. Second bag looking a little bit different. Tropical Mango, 1 line of cheese, PCO burned. And what is that? Is that an all spin? That's it's death. That's what it is. Oh, it's not. It's death. It's death. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm back in Areola 1?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Good timing. Yeah, Tropical Mango, a bit of a misdrop on their board.
Oh, you don't need to tell me a bit of a misdrop. That's all I need to. That's all I need to know.
A bit of a misdrop. Yeah, I mean, both these players look to be the same speed as I guess we've seen in every matchup. Now that I think about it, this yeah. I mean, Croissant that most definitely did not play their profile TL PPS against.
That is interesting warm-up, but hey, it all depends on how things go in the set that we have, and already Areola trying to fix this misdrop here. But already getting the spin-off, but they need the eyepiece to continue onward. Definitely looks like that, UT Austin must keep up the momentum with their players here. Tropical Mango gonna have to build that burst up, but not gonna send much to Areola. And
yeah, staying on the top of their board, trying to find a little bit more damage before they go down. Just not enough to top out Areola. And
no, very good T-spin bind by Areola, but Tropical Mango's misdrop might have cut it way too.
Yeah, we'll see see how long it takes for Tropical Mango to kind of reset, I guess, the nerves, as has been the story, right? For and probably will continue to be for this tournament.
To the end of time, of course.
Yeah.
But already does seem like that Areola is making a decent name for themselves here.
Oh,
even though the state of the board is not looking great, though.
I caster curse Tropical Mango in my mind. I was about to say it's super clean board, and then now it's this.
Yep, Tropical Mango though looking a bit nervous here, not exactly trying to find the best down stack here, giving 2 points to Areola. I think we played these games before.
I think your mic's dying a little bit, TGK.
How bad is it dying?
We got the gist. I heard we played these games before. I think I got it.
But aside from that, it definitely looks like that Areola is going to get with a bit of a stride here, playing a bit faster than Tropical Mango, but Tropical Mango is getting a very chaotic and clustered board here, something that I don't think I've seen from any other player until now. Oh no.
Oh, but both sides actually looking not in a position to send, I'll say the least. And someone exploded. Someone exploded.
But Tropical Mango seems to be getting their first point here, and it definitely seems like Areola is the type of person to not let that happen though, because look at the lead. And especially with the mishold that Tropical Mango had, you could definitely tell that Areola wants to keep the mistakes in play against Tropical Mango.
Yeah, Tropical Mango finding a really good count to keep up the pressure, actually. Super Clean does break at 4. Not too much cheesing sent over to Areola, which means... Well, never mind. Stop speaking. Dude, this happened last year too. I'm just cursing everything.
I just feel like I've seen this kind of match earlier with, oh my god, with, I forgot those players' names, dude, and I apologize.
There are a lot of players going on.
But
in this tournament.
aside from that, definitely looks like Areola is playing for flatness here, gonna get that count to 4 up and running, but chooses to go for the T-spin. Something very common with a lot of U-rank players.
Yeah, Tropical Mango a little bit trying to find their way to this T-spin triple. Does find it. Areola not necessarily in a position to punish all too heavily, but still staying clean, which, like we said many times, and has been the case many times, seems to be their working strategy. Tropical Mango does find the 180 all-spin in, finally getting access to that juicy garbage that was sent. Let's see how they're able to convert it, and if Areola can deal with it.
And already it does seem like Areola having a very, very spiky looking board, but they are flattening it pretty solidly. And looks like it's 2 minutes in, and we could have margin time here if both these players don't spend enough at the same time. Which already it does seem like the Areola is on top of the board, but Tropical Mango though, not gonna donate unfortunately, which is going to top out.
Yeah, potentially. I think maybe the longest round we've seen.
I've seen longer. I've actually seen longer
of this set.
Well, definitely of this set for sure. But
I would think margin time most likely probably favors Tropical Mango over Areola if they can get there, right? I mean, they seem to be the primary sender, I guess, would be.
Because they have a lot of spike potential, and they definitely have a lot of damage that they can ramp up off of, and judging by Tropical Mango's playstyle, they seem to be more APM focused, but not in the ways that you would see out of an X-Rank. Something that you would see from the copious amounts of skims, T-spins in favor of quads, trying to like favor, flashy plays over resource management, etc., etc. I've already detailed about this in the Georgia Tech match, but already it does seem like Tropical Mango is not going to let UT oh my
Austin?
God. Yeah, UT Austin. It's not going to let UT Austin get free points right off the bat, and already they're going to kickstart it with the PCO. Already decent enough damage. But not as much as you would see from Season 1, but hey, who am I to judge?
Can't complain. I love me some very nice mid-game. Listen, that's the best part of the game, and no one can convince me otherwise.
I'm pretty sure that's everyone's best part about the game. I mean, you have opener mains, but like we don't see a lot of them nowadays because look at the meta.
Yeah, no, good riddance, I say.
Nobody goes for SDVC anymore, like unironically.
Yeah, I'm not too upset about that, but Tropical Mango probably a little bit upset about that T misdrop. Let's see if they're able to bring it back. I mean, you just really, whether or not you're a UT Austin fan, UBC fan, it just feels bad watching people just die to misdrops, right?
Or just in general.
Empathy. Yeah, people dying is probably bad.
It's a very harsh feeling in this game, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have went for it like in more ways than one. Ooh. But Areola does find the overhang to continue with that T-spin and does manage to get the down stack, sending a lot of cheese, but the clean below it or above it is enough ammunition for Tropical Mango to send a will, even if it's
really
just a bit
nice.
of 8-1.
Really nice down stack from them to be able to dig through that cheese and end with a quad. But now they have more, as Areola is trying to start up their upstack, but not the safest of boards to do so. See if they're able to find their way down. Tropical Mango most certainly has. Just not able to kill quite yet. Areola, one piece too short, almost finding their way out of there. And no misdrop equals win, maybe, for Tropical Mango.
I'm pretty sure that's just the game plan for a lot of players. But
yeah,
already
it's a good one.
It definitely does seem like Areola wants to keep it a bit more cautious here. Even if it means that it costs their board state, it's still enough for Tropical Mango to do some decent damage.
Yeah, speaking of board states, I just looked over and saw like 3 floats on Tropical Mango's side, and Areola is completely unfazed. Absolutely fine.
Completely greedy and not worth the effort and time.
Listen, if they don't lose off it, no harm, no foul, That's
it's almost like the game plan must be like, how many lines can I send to my opponent until they die?
You get it.
But already it does seem like Areola is building for height. And when it comes to height, all that matters is, how much you're gonna send your opponent until they die. Like I said before.
Yes. Absolutely. Upstacking, I would say when you're not one of like the super high ranks is like it's pretty hard to keep track of you know how your board's doing, how your opponent's board's doing, if you're gonna die to a random spike, if you keep up stacking. Definitely something I struggle with. So I would consider it risky. Probably not risky if you're like actually good at the game, but
And already Tropical Mango gonna have to go for a bit of a J spin instead, but does continue with the continue down stack.
yeah, Ariel I guess is just like like I said, there's clean players, right? It's
Yeah.
clean up board before sending, which is a lesson I still struggle with.
You see me struggling a lot with a lot of things.
Yeah, I realize that. I realize that.
I think you need to get coaching, dude.
I need better brain. I need brain. It's a brain gap.
We'll get that first, dude.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the gap is between these players as Ariola finding their way down.
Yeah, this
One
is
small.
already such a lengthy match, but it does seem like Ariola is entirely on the ropes, but does manage to find the proper resources to get a 15 spike, sending damage to Tropical Mango. Already 2 minutes and 20 minutes in, but the surge is going to be enough to top Ariola out, I think. Ooh,
Yeah, there we see it. Like I said, like the spiky APM heavy playstyle, right? So that's Tropical's Mango's game plan, so to speak, working out for them when. I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. Before I cursed him.
Don't
I'm
you
not
dare!
taking responsibility.
You've already cursed like 5 separate times. I'm sure
I'm
we don't
learning.
need a
I'm learning.
6th.
Listen, I'm not a fast learner, but I do learn eventually.
But either way, it definitely looks like Tropical Mango going for a bit of more of a technical play here. Does manage to find the Kaiden. Very solid find by Tropical Mango. Definitely looks like they're trying to build for back-to-back, but does break it, unfortunately.
Yeah, Ariel's been trying to get down from this 9-0 stack, or 09, I suppose. Just not having the greatest of pieces. Eventually getting down, but still not completely down. Tropical Mango is ramping up their attack.
Oh yeah, that is definitely a lot of damage, but Ariola has the chance to dig from this. There was no spin. That was not the most optimal play, but they still managed to dig through it anyways. That
Yeah,
was a
still finding their way
complete
down. I mean,
punish.
there's more than one ways to get down, I guess, is what Ariel is showing us. I mean, completely safe now, and Tropical Mango, on the other hand, is I mean, tons of cheese to dig through. Dig through they will, I suppose. And now both players are safe. Wow. What a peaceful
That was
ending to all that.
That was an interesting survival from Ariola, though. I did not expect to live off that.
Wow, Tropical Mango, oh, not finding the all clear. Maybe valuing their upstack a little bit more. And
I think Ariola
tons
needs
and
to
tons
dig
of-
here. Ooh. Yeah, Ariola definitely needs to dig here, but this is not exactly great, but...
Oh, not finding the good spin on the T-piece. Does top out. Tropical Mango definitely hitting their stride. Please don't make me curse you. Let's see what the opener is. And a very, very fast. Is that SDPC? I think.
That is definitely SDPC, because I definitely saw that piece coming from a mile away. But already they have a bit of a hard time with this overhang.
Yeah, trying to spin the J in when
Very
not
lost
exactly the
confused
kick to
here.
do. Shoutouts to
Yeah.
UCLA.
Yeah, very lost confused here. They're just giving you Austin points, and Tropical Mango is having a bit of nerves even after those rounds that just last way too long.
Yeah, and I didn't want to say this earlier when it was tied before, but it does look like we're in for another slobber knocker.
Oh my.
As it is 1st to 2 at this point. Let's see who can close it out. Tropical Mango. A series of
Is Uvic
misfortunates.
Austin gonna win Oh boy, this is looking very spicy for UBC. Tropical Mango's never
I think I heard what you said. A little hard to tell.
No. It's just I think UBC is just having a very hard time with this kind of matchup. Just when you have nerves on the line. What is this?
Wow.
That ooh,
Yeah, and a huge down stack.
floating setup from Tropical Mango?
Yeah, I mean, managing to get it in time to cancel out what would have probably topped them out. And tons of cheese.
Yeah, this is so greedy. This is not what you want if you're UBC, and they're gonna give Austin a point. They're gonna give them a game. Oh,
Yeah.
Areola. Already 29-22. All that matters is one more match, and it's going to be Achiever versus Torrential. Oh my
looking
god.
like it's a 7 points differential at the point in time, so a bit of a hill to climb for Achiever, but well, he's an Achiever. So we'll see if they're able to do so, as their namesake would hope for. Looking at the stats of these two players, I believe to be
Torrential, a very
a bit of an uphill battle.
very strong X rank for sure. 2.6 BPS with 126 APM compared to Achievers 84. So
Yeah, an uphill battle, but not unachievable. I didn't even make that pun.
I definitely think Torrential might have a couple of games where they're gonna try but fumble accidentally, but it looks not too one-sided, which is good to say in a very unbiased manner.
Yeah, huge clean stack for Torrential to take advantage of. Donating to find just a little bit more back-to-back. Finally taking that last quad, and that was a quick one.
Torrential is quite the tanker, I'll say. Having to abuse the garbage height in order to build up for some eye pieces immediately, get fast enough to be able to send, of course, be able to screen watch when need be.
Yeah, and kind of, I didn't really catch what they did necessarily, but they didn't seem to be an opener I was familiar with at the very least.
I think they were trying to do MS2, but they managed to find a spin early on that threw them off. But UT Austin has one player, and even though it's not their strongest, it's still enough to give them only a couple of points. But let's see if it matters or not.
Yep, we are heading into the game Torrential with a very rapid upstack.
From Torrential, of course. Achiever with the 7-2 as well, but they are going to dig for that quad.
Bit of a misdrop on Torrential's side. Not able to punish. And Torrential does take the first round. We'll see how the second round goes with maybe a change in opener. Achiever liking this DT cannon, looking like. Is this the one you're talking about? Not really, right?
Definitely a different DT cannon. Yeah, definitely not new DT by the looks of it. And Torrential seems to go for extra T MKO. And already Achiever's board state not exactly looking ideal as Torrential gets 2 points ahead.
Yeah, trying to find that eye spin to skim out, but unfortunately it did seem like they needed that eye to get down.
Already in the span of a minute, Torrential has a very strong lead here, while Achiever is just trying to dig for efficiency, even if it doesn't seem the best, and already with a couple of misdrops. Yeah, that's not looking good for Achiever here. Torrential's building up some level of back-to-back. Even if the surge might be a bit tiny, Achiever is having a very rough time with the board. And that's already salt to the wound. Torrential just sending that surge immediately at Achiever. Man-made cheeses their boredom.
Yep, Achiever just keeping it going with that DT cannon. Trying to find probably just a quick opener to send and get the game going. Yep, Torrential now with a giant stack.
And already it does seem like Torrential's looking pretty comfy, just letting the nerves not get to his head. Achiever, unfortunately, it's the big fat goose egg, something you really don't want as a player against, someone with a higher rank tier, and Torrential is purely freestyling it.
Yeah, I mean, looking like their stacking's clean enough to do so. I mean, finding many a T-spin double. Achiever does fight back, and Torrential a bit of a greed. Maybe not thinking that OPs would top them out. Yeah,
just as I mentioned. just as I mentioned the big fat goose egg, Achiever manages to get 1 point off of Torrential, one of UBC's only X-rank players.
Yeah, but maybe. Ooh! Crazy fancy Z S-spin, excuse me, from Torrential, finding the down stack, but as I was saying, 1 is a start. 1 is a start. We'll see. That's a lot of cheese. That's a lot of cheese.
Definitely does seem like it.
Torrential finding their stride. Not too many misdrops, which is what you'd like to see.
Already, I can definitely see Achiever trying to dig here. Does manage to get the quad in time. Torrential looking pretty flat here. Not exactly finding the best resources, but still managed to get that quad with the back-to-back going and a single dono.
Yeah, Achiever just managing to get access to that well. Now having another one, courtesy of Torrential.
Already Achiever's starting to funnel just a bit, but they do need to get another quad here to fully dig themselves back to the ground. Torrential having to wait an eye. Oh, what is this board state, Torrential?
Yeah, really bad misdrops on Torrential's board. Achiever does find the way down to see if they're able to find the punish. Well, what?
no, Torrential found a dono just like on the fly.
Just absolutely managing to run with it, and I guess kind of running with this set. I mean, Torrential just so fast at getting down from their bad board states, and Achiever not down. Although not out as well, just managing to find the down stack. And we have crossed the 1 minute line of this game.
Definitely longer than expected, especially against a 20k. Something that Torrential is just not too much used to at this point, but still pretty likely to take this set if they keep the confidence going, and especially with the surge that they got. Achiever not exactly going for the dig and giving Torrential 1 more point here to set and for today.
Yeah, just trying to find 1 more T-spin. Doesn't really work out for them with that board state. We'll see if this ends up being the last match of our Sunday Week 1 CTL stream.
Which definitely looks like the case.
Giant spike coming out from nowhere.
Not ideal, unfortunately, as UBC takes the entire series.
Yeah, I mean,
how many points?
Just a gorgeous funnel.
37 to 20. What a game between both. But hey, at least UT Austin won a 1-1 set, which is incredibly surprising. Shoutouts to both of these teams. Shoutouts forehand, and of course, just what a great showing between both of these teams, though. We've seen
UBC definitely looking super strong, but UT Austin absolutely no slouch either. I mean, like you said, taking games off of X ranks, under ranks. My goat Plonker Croissant.
Shoutouts to Croissant.
I love by Plonker Hobies. Yeah,
absolutely. But still, good stuff to UBCA, but UT Austin has shown plenty of entertainment, not just only to the casters at home, but also to the audience and to the fans of UT Austin. And honestly, this is such a very strong showing between both these teams. I wouldn't lie, that it's very fun match.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm really excited to see how both these teams do in the upcoming weeks. I know UBC has been kind of a, I wouldn't say powerhouse, but kind of a powerhouse, in previous years.
They're a strong showing.
Yeah, not looking weak this year.
I mean, they are a strong showing between, a lot of Canadian campus, especially around, especially when it comes to, this current season where they have a lot of stacked players, especially. Actually, I was going to mention Caboozle, but that's UCLA, and I always get them mixed up. But aside from that, one of Canada's best teams, the campus, though, when it comes to Tetris in general.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like the top 4 always has like 3 Canadian teams in it.
I guess. I mean, Canada has a very strong showing when it comes to, competitive Tetris, and always delightful to see. So, before we head out, I think we have ourselves someone, close in for the entire today.
Yes, my other TO goat, our very excellent friend Plu, I believe has some words to close this out.
Oh my goodness! Hi guys! Hi guys!
Hi, Squiddy.
Say hi back.
I thought you were talking to the chat. I didn't realize you were talking to us.
Anyways, hi guys! Thank you
Oh
all
my God,
so
bye.
much for watching the first stream of the year for CTL. Got a very, very exciting season coming up. Lots of different changes. For example, the lower league and upper league changes. Hopefully this will help us get some more even matches. If you didn't know, in our first game today, Georgia Tech versus Uvic. Apparently I'm very quiet. Okay, wait. I need to be louder. Hold on.
Oh my god, this is where you shout.
Okay, anyways. So our first game, GT versus Uvic, that was in the lower league. And then our second game, UBC versus UT Austin, was in the upper league. So anyways, I'm not going to address what's going on in the chat. Anyways, I'd like to shout out some people. So first, I'd like to shout out the UBC Esports sponsors. We have some new sponsors this year. Hooray, hooray! One of our sponsors is Drunk Deer keyboards. They make mechanical keyboards that are very, very customizable. An example of something interesting that these keyboards have is rapid trigger. And if you are in the UBC area, which is in Vancouver, British Columbia, there was a bit of a confusion there in the stream. If you're around, you can come to our gaming lounge at UBC. We have a couple of Drunk Deer keyboards that you can try out. Our next sponsor is Strung Studios. They are a game development partner company specializing in UX and UI design. Again, if you're in the area, they are currently looking for game testers, and they are willing to pay you to play their games. You can pay up to $60 per hour if you'd like to try out their games. Yes, be sure to look them up if you want to make a quick buck while playing some video games. And finally, we have Rogers. Everyone knows what Rogers is. Rogers is a telecommunications company, offers data plans, Wi-Fi plans, stuff like that. And all of these companies have generously sponsored our club, and we cannot run without your support. So thank you all so much. Next, I will thank our organizers, Boat Hotel, Doe, Lavani, Fizzle, Care Age Wars, the Trooper 4907, and Macroni. Special thanks to Osk for making Tetrio and helping us promote CTL, Ors for making these fantastic overlays, Designix for designing our CTL badges, and Garbo. Oh, Garbo also helped with the overlays. Yes, Ors and Garbo are the backbone of the overlays. If you think they look very pretty, you should tell them thanks. And then finally, we have our commentators, Science Cyber, Bad Goblin, Big Joe. Oh god, you've seen that guy today. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, oh my god. Cowbow, Chillhopper, Dewey, Kapuru, Lavani, BenXT, Spherical, you saw him today, TGK, oh my god, you saw him today,
Oh my
Devo
god.
Tigger, and Super 4907. And, oh my goodness, special announcement. Impossible special announcement. Oh my goodness, we have a new community event. Isn't that so crazy? We have the CTL Weekly Art Contest. If you go to our Discord in... I don't think the command works, so I'm going to type it here, bit.me/CTL Discord. Oh my god, if you go to the Discord server, you can go to the Weekly Art channel, and basically, your school can submit one piece of art per week, and there's gonna be a theme. For example, like a drawing or photo or something like that. This week is drawing. You can see my beautiful drawing if you go to the CTL Weekly Art channel. I made this in like 3 minutes while I was typing the little announcement. But anyways, submit something, and be entered into a supporter raffle for your school, and it will be very fun. So awesome. Oh, yay! Oh my god, wait. Another thing. Another thing is shout out to Hummingbird Nest Tetris for raiding us. Thank you so much for the raid.
Oh my god, I love those guys. I love those guys.
Oh my gosh, I love those guys. I also know that some of the organizers there, such as Flower Petal, are playing in CPL. Oh my gosh, shout out Flower Petal. But also, speaking of Hummingbird Nest Tetris, if you don't know what Hummingbird Nest Tetris is, they're a Discord server and community, and they host tournaments. And I will send you their Discord server here, because actually they have a tournament next week called Prism 3. Oh my goodness. Prism 3 is... Okay, you know how in CTL we're dividing our teams in upper and lower leagues. So they'll have closer matches because we separate by seed. That's basically the same thing with Prism. Isn't that so crazy? So if you're like an S- ranked player and you play in Tetris tournaments, then you like first game you get seeded with an X rank. You're like, wow, this is just no fun, you know? Well, if you play in Prism 3, there's a much higher chance you will play someone closer to your level, because there are a bunch of different divisions that you can participate in. And for example, if you're an S, maybe you'll get put into the 3rd division or the 4th division, and then play people much closer to your level. So yeah, join the Discord server, and then check out the tournament. And yeah, thank you for raiding us. So awesome. Anyways, that's all I had to say. Do our commentators TGK and Big Joe have any closing remarks?
Bye, Squiddies.
Oh my god, true! Oh my god, true! Bye, Squiddies! Bye, Squiddies!
Bye, Squiddies.
I'm too old, man. I'm too old.
You know,
Hi,
that's
too
okay.
old. Hi, too old.
Sometimes it's okay not to be hip with the kids, okay? I understand.
I'm embarrassed.
No, don't feel embarrassed. I'm sorry, don't feel embarrassed.
But no. Anyways, shoutouts to the UBCA sponsor, shoutouts to the org, shoutouts to everyone that's worked on CTL at the moment. Shoutouts to Spherical, shoutouts to Joe, shoutouts to all of the teams that show up tonight, and I'd be more than happy to show up tomorrow if possible. You know.
True! Shout out to TGK, it was his first time commentating CTL, and he did an unbelievably fantastic job. I could feel his energy emanating through the screen.
Also, shoutouts to Hummingbird Nest for the promo.
Yes.
I love to commentate Stratosphere again, but I got other things to do. I apologize. But really, shoutouts to everyone that's involved with making TL happen, and of course making 2, you know, as good as it is. I don't know how Season 1 went, but either way, it definitely looks like it's starting pretty good. And I'm more than happy. So either way, that's all I got for now. Thank y'all for coming. GG's to all the teams that showed up. Shoutouts to Georgia Tech, shoutouts to Uvic, shoutouts to UT Austin, shoutouts to UB, shoutouts to all the teams that showed up. And what do you say? Do we want to raid today?
We can.
5 big booms.
5
Yeah, boom.
That's what the kids say nowadays. 5 big booms. Okay. I did not think about raiding, so do you have any recommendations? How do I even check?
How about we raid Tafokin?
Okay. Very well.
He's currently streaming. He's streaming Tetris and it's surely, you know, been a bit. So let's go raid him.
Wait, I didn't
Anyways.
realize that's the raid you were talking about. I'm sorry.
Oh my
That's-
god,
that's
yay!
a little
Bye guys, bye
embarrassing.
guys. Thanks
Anyways.
for coming. See you next
Show some love
week.
to-
Bye.
Show some love for
Bye.
Tafokin. See ya.
Oh my god,
Wait,
yay!
I
Great
thought
work,
we were
guys.
talking about raiding